You know, that whole spring transition, it's never straightforward, right? These troughs continue to develop across the east. That allows for cooler air to continue moving on in. There's another one coming in later on in towards the middle of the week. There's going to be another one that's going to develop back towards the west. We are going to see some warm-ups at times, but it's going to be pretty brief. Over the last but 3 weeks or so, the last 20 days, warm air across much of the mid-Atlantic southeast, but that cool air has trickled in across the upper Midwest and also through the Great Lakes, and that's kind of taken hold a little bit, and that's kind of even pushed further off towards the east. Very, very wet the last week. Not a good situation. Of course, horrible flooding in a lot of spots. Some spots seeing 14, 15 inches plus of rain. So those forecasts that we showed you of 10 to 15 inches of rain from last week, no lie. And outside of that, a widespread 2 to 4 inches of rain. Of course, that's a lot just in itself, too, within the course of a week. So this is the next system moving on in for your early morning, and we're going to have snow. It's going to be a wet snow. It's going to accumulate maybe a couple inches in spots on grassy surfaces, not too much on pavement just because of those marginal temperatures. Kind of more in the way of just plain rain throughout the day tomorrow due to those marginal temperatures, except for maybe Michigan and Ontario, and then it redevelops a little bit as we go into the nighttime hours and on Friday as we see multiple different lows. That'll create Northeast PA and upstate New York getting a little bit of accumulating snow, probably into Connecticut and portions of Rhode Island, Massachusetts as well. Not going to be a huge deal though. As that system goes off towards the north, that will create a little accumulation potentially as we go on in towards Quebec. And then just rain. It's going to kind of circle itself around, and decent amount of it. Not too much going on outside of that. This is the next system to watch as it swings out from Calgary, kind of an Alberta clipper a little bit. With this trough, could have a couple of showers or storms ahead of it, but colder air pushes in with this. How about more snow, maybe a little bit of lake effect? Not going to be a huge deal for most spots, but there definitely could be some accumulation, and then we'll see that wrap around further off towards the east. So most spots not seeing an incredible amount of accumulating snow over the course of the next few days or so, but we'll see maybe by the middle of the week up and towards more close to that Canadian border area, not a ton out west as it looks like right now. We see these troughs coming on down, cold air pushing east, but these big ridges allow for plenty of warm air into the Intermountain West, even into the central U.S., especially further off towards the west. But this is pretty chilly for this time of year. Nothing crazy cold, but it's for the most part sustained chill where you just have a few days here and there that's going to be mild, not super warm, and maybe the end of April will switch it up a little bit. Drier than normal off towards the west, otherwise near average to slightly above average rainfall, nothing crazy wet. I think the biggest deal is just it's not going to feel like late spring very much at all across much of the east, but it's super duper warm, California and Nevada over the course of the next week to 10 days or so. You continue to kind of see these big troughs develop with the jet stream winds carving it on out like that. But then as you go closer towards the end of the month, you're going to see this big ridge. And I think this is going to have enough power to push further off towards the east and allow that warmer air to push in. So hopefully we see a little bit of a transition to warmer east later April.
Your Norcast weather update.